Right, okay, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today's my match reaction to Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. A decent point at the bridge against the top of the league. I think we take it every day of the week, to be honest. The London Derby, tasty match. Quite a stressful but enjoyable match at the same time. Let's get into it. Yeah, so I think it's a decent point. I think we'll take it. I'm pretty happy about it. If you offer us a draw, at the start of the game, we'd have definitely taken it. If you offered us a draw after that red card, definitely would have taken it. So absolutely no complaints about that whatsoever. It's a really, really decent point in my eyes. And the team fought really hard for that. They fought really hard for that. It was a proper hard game. I mean, so you saw straight away, from the whistle, João Pedro smashed into the Arsenal centre back. It was going to be a tough game. It was going to be a physical game, and we really, we stepped up to it against top of the league. A very good Arsenal side. Right, said they had their two main centre backs out, but take nothing away there. It's a really good Arsenal side. They're probably going to win the title, and we rose the challenge. We gave it to them, say, tough game. We stepped up to the plate to play that long with 10 men against them as well. I mean, look what it did to Bayern Munich in the week. They absolutely tore Bayern Munich apart. Look what it did to Tottenham on the weekend. They absolutely tore Tottenham apart. Look at what they've done to pretty much most teams so far this year. They've torn a lot of teams apart, and we just, we rose to the standards and we gave them a really hard game, probably one of the harder games they've had all year. And so, we stepped up the physicality with the 10 men. We continued to challenge him. Obviously, we went 1-0 up momentarily. I think you got to give a lot of credit to Enzo Maresca. I think he absolutely smashed it again. Obviously, the original lineup worked really well. While we were 11 versus 11, we were probably on top. We'll get into a bit of that in a second. So, obviously, the original setup worked really well. I mean, we saw how he adapted to perfectly beat Barcelona midweek. He absolutely smashed it midweek with tactics. I think he smashed it again yesterday against Arsenal. I think, he put out the perfect side to go and win that game. Obviously, once the red card happened, it threw a bit of a spanner in the works, but he managed it perfectly. We've criticised him after games like Sunderland and Brighton for the way he managed the red cards. He smashed it perfectly yet again on the weekend. We only made two subs all game. That's probably the least amount of subs we've made in a game all year. And it was two attackers off for two attackers. And I really like that. I really like that. I think it really worked. I was expecting him to bring Andre Santos on, and I think, to be honest, most of us would have probably said to bring on Andre Santos there, losing Caicedo. But he stuck to his guns, so he only brought attackers on for attackers. He didn't really switch to any more of a defensive formation, and it worked. It really did work. I say, absolutely unbelievable game management for Enzo Maresca. We sat back. And we managed that game really well while down to 10 men. As I mentioned, when it was 11 versus 11, I thought we were the better side. I did. No team was piling on necessarily loads of pressure. It was slightly end to end, but we had more chances. I don't think you can argue against that. Maybe they tested the keeper more with that save sacrifice out of Robert Sanchez, but we did. In terms of quantity, we did have more chances. I think Esteban had the two all went over the bar. Enzo Fernandez as well put one. It was sort of straight at Raya. It wasn't like a simple save for Raya. He made it look a bit awkward at least, but it's one you expect him to save. If that goes in, it's an absolute howler. We had those two chances. Also, there was the João Pedro one where he ended up throwing a goal. He just couldn't quite get the shot away. Then Arsenal managed to get enough of him back. They were really struggling with our press, Arsenal. When it was 11 versus 11, they really struggled with our press. There's numerous times. Look at that João Pedro chance. There was another one. I can't remember who was it. Who they got the ball and then they just sort of got it muddled up, and Arsenal got enough pairs back. But there was numerous times where they gave it away. Reece James made many interceptions in the midfield. They really, really struggled to power out from the back with the press we were put on. It was really, really impressive. Great to see. And I say, a lot of people have came out and said that if they thought so that 11 versus 11, they thought we'd win. With the game, the way the game was going, I don't see why we couldn't have won. And say once the red card came, I think we did reacted really well. We dug deep and we grinded out the result. Sanchez is absolutely brilliant. We'll give him criticism when he deserves it, but last few weeks, Robert Sanchez has been absolutely brilliant. I thought it was great in midweek against Barcelona. I think everything about him has looked so much better. Set piece, he looks so much comfortable. We'll get into that in a second, but not even just set to any cross. He looks so much more comfortable claiming crosses. Obviously, crosses has still been a bit of a problem. We'll get onto that, but he looks so much more comfortable with crosses. His distribution has improved tenfold. No one's really mentioned it, but his distribution has improved. Throwing, kicking, it's improved so much from Robert Sanchez. He has a lot of praise for that, and his saves. I mean, he made some crucial saves that game. A lot low down, where he's had to proper reach down, hard saves to make, and he made them. Deserves a lot of credit, Robert Sanchez. Another really good performance from him. So yeah, hats off to him. And I say they were ineffective from set pieces. we completely stopped them. Whether it was taking more play by the box to create more room, quite a ballsy tactic. We tried it with Tottenham's long throws and it worked. We tried it with Arsenal's corners and it worked. And overall, I think just the way we tracked men was best. I mean, we've not always been the best for tracking men at set pieces, but looked really good at it yesterday. I say the amount of times Robert Sanchez just came out and comfortably punched or comfortably claimed it, absolutely brilliant. Music to our ears. And of course, we scored from one at the other end. I mean, Arsenal last season, they didn't have a great set piece record today. This year, I mean, they've had quite a good defensive record anyway. I couldn't tell you how many goals they conceded from set pieces. Nowhere near as much as they did at this stage last year, I'd expect. Brilliant flick on from Chalobah. Really deserved goal. So happy for him. And I mean, you saw what it meant to hold ground to go 1-up in that situation where we maybe weren't necessarily expecting it. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely bedlam. So brilliant for Chalobah. And also great work from Reece James to put in the original cross, what led to the header, what won the corner, and then to get the assist from the corner as well. Brilliant stuff. Worked perfectly. I think we were aiming at that front post a bit, so clearly they've seen something there what works. And say executed absolutely perfectly. Great goal from Chalobah. And for that moment, it was absolutely brilliant. But obviously, we did concede. I think it was really disappointing to see that goal. I think obviously we saw, potentially saw it coming. They didn't make that many big chances, but it was quite obvious that they were going to get a decent chance at some point. And just all the hard work we did to throw it away. Saka, he just about got away from Cucurella. He just gave himself just enough room to be able to ping a ball into the box from quite an awkward position as well. So fair play, Saka, an absolutely brilliant cross. And yeah, they just get ahead on the back post. I think Fafana has to be better for me. He loses Marino way too easily. Absolutely way too easy. I mean, watch it back. Look at him and Marino. He just loses him way too easily for me. And it's just so disappointing that, all that hard work went down the drain because of that. All just because, sloppy, just letting your man go from across. Really awful. I mean, you see him, he checks his shoulder at one point. He's still sort of in the vicinity of him. And he doesn't check again. And Marino, he builds 5 yards from him, maybe. So yeah, that was disappointing to throw away all that hard work with such a simple goal. Really, they weren't really challenging us. I mean, you saw what they did to Bayern Munich. We'll see what they've done to other teams this year. It didn't really put us under that sort of pressure. When they did, we dealt with it really well. And we've got to talk about. We've mentioned it multiple times. We've got to talk about the red card. But I sit pretty simple on this. You look at the Bentancur one versus James. I said it after that. I said, I don't see how that can't be a red card. I think I said it multiple times in that video. I'll stand there and say, I can totally understand Caicedo getting a red card for that. The inconsistency, it's what we've came to expect from VAR on this. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. How one of them can be red, but the other can't. I don't get it. I don't get it. But as far as the actual challenge goes, I wouldn't really complain with the red card too much, to be totally honest. I thought Jamie Carragher did a piece for it, and I think he pretty much nailed it. Caicedo, it's what Caicedo does, and it's why we love him. So I'm not going to criticise him for too much. The angles he goes in for challenges, sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it does look quite scrappy. It very often works. He does sometimes clip a pound the follow through and stuff like this happens. It's why we love Caicedo. It was going to happen eventually. Obviously, you have the elbow and Chalobah as well. Somebody complaining about. It's one of those. I mean, if that was against us, I would heavily say yellow. I think was it Marino, whoever it was. They had their eyes on the ball. Is it lazy? Is it sloppy? Yes. But is it red card worthy? When I guess he knows he's there, but he's got his eyes on the ball. So I'm not totally convinced that being a red. I think I didn't tell everyone. It was all right. Let's say maybe there was big calls, maybe got him right, but a lot of the other calls I feel like Cucurella got really hard done by. The amount of fouls Cucurella had given against him, which wasn't a foul, and the yellow card he got, I thought was stupid. To us, I thought it was very classic Anthony Taylor. I tried to book quite a few pairs early on, just sort of stamp that authority on a game, but it didn't massively work. But it's what we've came to expect from Anthony Taylor, really, isn't it? So we go to the player ratings then. Robert Sanchez, 7.5. I think I've said what I need to about Robert Sanchez. Give the man his flowers. He deserves it. He's been playing really well recently. Gusto, 7. Really solid from Gusto, really. Defensively and going forward. Getting involved in attacks. Playing out wide a decent bit. So yeah, 7 for Gusto. Fania, It would have been a 7 or 7.5 probably, but just say losing Mourinho for that goal, you can't do it. It's sloppy, and I think Fofana's been really good recently, so I think that's a massive positive. So just that one moment let him down, and it's dropped him down to 6.5. Well, still saying something about the rest of his performance that he can still get a 6.5 after the rest of it. So yeah, I mean, it was a good performance apart from that one moment. What's hard to look by really. Chalobah 8, so really solid. Got the goal, brilliant flick on. So happy for him. He's been, yeah, I mean, him and Fafana have looked really, really good together. I think them two definitely work as a pairing. They both look really solid. They look comfortable together. I think them two are really gelling together, and you can see it. The little amount of goals we conceded since them two have been together. That's definitely a pairing I like. I think they look comfortable. Cucurella 7. So I think he got hard done by. That fouls given against him the yellow card, but apart from that, pretty solid result. I thought him versus Saka, from a neutral's point of view, I think it'd been really good. Just from a football fan point of view, it's a really good matchup to watch. Really enjoyable. The goal, I wouldn't say necessarily he loses him too much. The goal, I think Saka just finds. I mean, put it like this, I think the goal is more brilliant work from Saka than lazy defending from Cucurella. I think Saka just about works enough room and managed to put in a cross from quite an awkward angle still. I think there's a lot of wingers who, if Cucurella had him in that position, they probably wouldn't be able to get the cross that pinpoint towards the back post. So I wouldn't necessarily put the goal on Cucurella not being able to stop the cross. I think that's more just fantastic work from Saka. So yeah, 7 for Cucurella. I thought it was still a decent performance off the back of his obviously man of the match brilliance in midweek. Reece James, absolutely sensational. 9, absolutely sensational. I'm so happy he's getting his flowers. So I said to my dad during the game, I said, for me, he's been absolutely outstanding this day. And to see him after the match get man of the match, and then to see everyone on social media talking about how good he was, I'm so happy he's getting his flowers. He was absolutely brilliant. I mean, he was relentless. He was everywhere. You name it, he was there and he was doing it. Obviously, got the assist. Some of the balls he was playing on and off the ball, he's just absolutely sensational. Winning the ball, then dribbling, going past men, drawing in fouls. Some of the balls he was switching towards the left wing. He was absolutely sensational. Brilliant. Super. Whatever you wanted him to do, he was doing it. He was brilliant with Caicedo, and then when Caicedo gets sent off, he can happily feel it. He was just sensational. Super performance. Unbelievable, Reece James. I say definitely a 9. Brilliant stuff. Great stuff from Reece James. Hats off. I mean, it's what he does. We know what this kid's know what he can do. He's absolutely brilliant. I think Maresca said he's not going to play against Leeds in the midweek. I think it makes sense. It's something what Maresca's done. Brilliant, the man management of him. So I understand it. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. 9. I say it was a tricky one because I was quite enjoying his performance. He was getting stuck in. It was one of those games. It was a fiery game. He was getting stuck in, but it did go too far. So I'm in a tricky position now. Whether to, what do you give him? I feel like, yeah. I said it. I don't know Christian's on too much, but he did get sent off. So I feel like it's almost limited something in it. So I'll say 4.5, but that's a tricky one because I was quite enjoying his performance. It was fiery. It was quite enjoyable to watch, but yeah, I mean, it felt inevitable at some point, didn't it? The way he plays, it feels like at some point he was going to time one wrong and get it sending off. Estevan's a tricky one. It obviously got brought for half time. I was obviously a bit surprised we started him. Obviously, he's been absolutely brilliant, but the way Maresca's been very good at sort of man managing him, I was happy to see him start. And I thought he did all right. Then if Christian really gives those 2 chances, could have done better with them, could have kept them down and guided him towards goal a bit more. So 6.5, but slightly decent. I mean, that's still a decent performance from Estevan. Take nothing away from him. Enzo, I'm also going to 6.5. Once again, decent performance. Fiery as he is in these games. Really enjoyed it. Loved seeing him against Madueke. Brilliant. Kicking in and celebrating his face after. Absolutely brilliant. It's what he does. Why we love him. Yeah, pretty decent performance. One of them went under the radar a little bit. So yeah, solid from Enzo. Pedro Neto's a tricky one. I'd probably say 6. I don't think he was too bad. He just didn't have a massive impact on the game. Probably should have done better with that one chance, what he sent sailing into the Matthew Island stand. But apart from that, it's pretty solid. So he's not much to praise, not much to criticise really. So yeah, 6. Last one was João Pedro. This is a tricky one. I'll say 6.5. I think it was really obviously didn't play the full game, came off in the 55th minute, but was doing really good at sort of implementing style. Smashing into the Arsenal defenders, was being a physical force, drawing in fouls. The only criticism I'll say is just, could he have got that shot away? Could he have got that shot away when it was 1-on-1? I understand it's under his feet, it's tricky in it, but yeah, could he have got the shot away? That would have been nice. So yeah, 6.5 for João Pedro. On to Solskjaer, Nacho, probably a 6. I mean, very similar to Neto in a way, I think, Nacho. You know, looked alright when he was on the ball, but just say, didn't really do much, not much to praise, not much to criticise. I'll lean to that. I'm going to go 6.5. Came on, obviously came on with the tactic change with being down to 10 men, and I think he was decent. You know, held the ball up really well, had a chance from quite far out. I think he forced a save from Ryan, didn't he? But yeah, apart from that, I thought physically looked good, held the ball up well. Was a massive part of that tactical change what helped us see out the game. So yeah, Delap 6.5, and yeah, that is it for today then. Thanks for watching. So a decent point. I'm happy with that. I don't think you can complain really, can you? With a point against Arsenal, the league leaders, in a game like that, especially when you're down to 10 men. So yeah, pretty happy with that. If I'm totally honest. No complaints to me. Obviously, next game we've got Leeds. Leeds away. What is always a tasty game as well. So let's see, will that be as tasty as this one? Midweek, that's when the Christmas season has started. When we're getting midweek Premier League games back, can't wait for it. So Leeds always is a good one. But yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.